Thank you. So we'll keep moving. 5.4. The locally developed courses. Can I have someone put the motion on the floor and we see what this course is about? Okay, go ahead.
I move that the board authorize the following locally developed courses and the resources required to teach them.
Thank you. All right, so we will ask Staff Superintendent to lead us through this. Go ahead.
Okay, so these are the courses that our high schools have requested to adopt. They may not utilize all of them, but there is an opportunity to put them as an offering for students, and they're open to all of our high schools. So it's not just specific to one high school. There's no cost to acquiring these courses. Essentially, we just had to go through an official process to ask to acquire them, and then we've never been turned down before. But there is this official process that we do need to go through so that we can offer these courses for credit within the high schools. Are there any questions?
So there's no cost to the student, but there is to the division.
No, there's no cost at all. No, it's just a process where divisions have developed a course where Alberta Education has not developed it. So for example, aviation. Alberta Education has not developed aviation, so it wouldn't appear on their website, but a division has gone ahead and created that course. And so when it is approved by Alberta Education, it can be offered to divisions across the province. But we have to apply to acquire that course to utilize it for our own purposes. But there's no cost to us.
So wouldn't you need like a special teacher who knows how to teach them?
That would be up to the schools. That's kind of their domain. At this point, we just need the curricular backing here so that they can teach the course. They don't have a teachable course, then they can't teach them, but there isn't, it would just be part of their offerings for optional courses, essentially, if they have the personnel for that.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. For the first three courses, 15, 25, and 35, regarding the academic achievement through English learning development, can you tell me more about that? And does any grant or government direction cover or support that programming?
So we do receive funding from the government for our students who are English language learners or English as an additional language learners. That money goes directly to schools. There was none held here centrally. So there is that funding, but there isn't any other extra funding on top of that. The courses are essentially just to support those English language learners that they can supplement their learning session.
Thank you. I appreciate you mentioning that these courses will be available through all of our high schools. I like that. But looking at the aviation, as already mentioned, do you know if that will be a module or an in-person class?
It's an in-person class.
Yeah, because I have heard that high school might be getting what is that? The simulators.
That course is super pricey.
Yeah. Yes.
So we're quite excited, as are the students about that.
Yes, I think that would be a great course for Chris. And my last question is, you had mentioned schools are requesting this, but when I look at some of them, Filipino language, braided journeys, cake decorating, are these courses being acquired by the division based on feedback from schools, students, teachers, surveys? From why are we acquiring?
Okay, that's a great question. So typically schools will, like, for example, St. Augustine, they survey their students and try to figure out what they're interested in so that they can figure out what they can offer for optional courses. And so it's based on feedback from students, but also, you know, if you have a high Filipino population, for example, you know, it would be obvious that you may want to offer something like that. So it's also based on the population and the contextual environment of the school as well. So there's a number of factors.
Okay, go ahead, that's Margot.
No, it's okay.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
What specifically is graded journeys?
So Graded Journeys is an Indigenous course in regards to Indigenous culture. And it's basically like Indigenous education for high school, basically is what it is. So, and it's, I believe it's created by Edmonton.
Go ahead.
Do you know what the difference between that and the Aboriginal Studies program that's currently offered?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wondered if it was
Mhm.
similar but different.
Yeah, Aboriginal Studies, my understanding is that is an Alberta Ed course,
Right.
and this is a locally developed one created by Edmonton.
Okay, sorry, I thought you meant like specific outcomes on it. I don't know enough by heart.
Yeah, just like kind of what the difference is.
Yeah, go ahead, President.
Are we able to get a course outline or something?
I'm sure we can, yeah, we can get a course explanation.
Graded journeys.
For what I do know, some of these optional courses come all along, and like Assistant Superintendent Canning stated, say somebody asks one Michael, and then Edmonton College, then they will develop it, talk about it, share. So a lot of time and effort goes into it to be very well developed, including whatever it needs to be taught and able to share it. And in some years you don't have any requests. Some years, I remember a year here that I was back riding, but that from St. A's or St. A, and apparently there was a extensive listing of it written somewhere. So that if a child on the farm decided, you know what, I want to take this as a course, I'm not optional, they go ahead and then teacher monitor them. So there's a lot of these optional courses all around the place. We see just a glimpse of those that needed to be. Actually, is one of them. It's becoming popular now in the high school, right? And the actually, which going out and all that. So it's things that people or kids want to learn.
There is a vetting process for these courses, so it's created within parameters and a framework that Alberta Education provides by a school division, but it still has to get approved through Alberta Education. So it's not like they're making stuff up and then they're just saying, well, you can acquire it. That's why there's this process of official requests so that we know what it is that's out there, right? Because who knows, what if somebody created a course that was completely offside, right? And they're trying to offer credits for it. So that there's an official process, there's a vetting process. It all goes through Alberta Education.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, there are no further questions. I'll just call the question. All in favor to acquire these courses? Yeah, carried. Nice. Yeah. I voted. Okay, thank you, carried. All right, so we have a revision of calendar here.
Would you like me to speak to that, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, let's put a motion on there and then give us the reason why. All right. Trustee Marilyn, can I have you put that on there?
That the board approve the revised 2023-2024 Sacred Heart School.
Wonderful. Yeah, Mr. Bouchard, what happened?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So it came to our attention quite accidentally in some ways that Wetaskiwin Regional changed their calendar unbeknownst to us.
Bingo.
So obviously that caused a little bit of a stir. In the end, there were 3 days that were changed by Wetaskiwin Regional, so rather than just change it and then implement it, we bring it before you here as a revision for approval. Again, factors outside of our control, but we're responding to that and we've made it work as presented in this calendar, so I think that's about all there is to say.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. And that's the way we find ourselves sometimes because of our partnership with all these divisions in our relation, which is collaboratively, but anyway. Nothing out of our control. All right. There are no further comments. I will call the question. All in favor? Approval? It's carried. All right, we will move to committee reports. ASBA Zone 2-3. Any questions or comments to Trustee Dimago? Okay, go ahead.
Firstly, thank you for the detailed report. Under, I don't know what page it is. It's like kind of the second page, under topic of zone business, under topic trustee involvement in school council meetings. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
So that was a roundtable conversation regarding school council, and if it is something that trustees are required to attend school council meetings, and basically the consensus around the table was that school council meeting attendance by trustees is determined at a division level. Some school divisions that are larger and have multiple schools, it's not feasible for trustees to attend every single school council meeting. So they create a plan at a division level within their own organization as to what their school council meetings and attendance is like. Hope that answers the question.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, we'll move to finance report then. Any question for Trustee Miller? Okay, we'll look at the budget. Meeting virtually as on May 30th at 3 p.m. Okay. Those are all the reports. We'll move to item number 7, good news stories. What's happening in your communities? Greating Valley, thank God, praise be to Him. We are back. Wonderful. Yeah, what's the update around there? Maybe between you and Mr. Bouchard can tell us the where we stand in that community right now. So go ahead with you, Trustee.
Well, we were evacuated for just shy of 2 weeks. And to my knowledge, 4 residents had their houses burnt, but and then they didn't disclose vehicles and other things, but just residents, and but they have it under control now. Town's back. There is still a section that is in evacuation that's south of the town, so some of our students might be affected in that area.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Bouchard, what do you know?
So we're happy to have staff back starting on Friday. Then students will come after the long weekend, first day being Tuesday. On Tuesday morning, the insurance adjuster went through with our facilities team. I can thankfully say that the schools are in good shape, other than a bit of smoke smell. There's no significant damage, so that's good news. We do know that there are students and staff that are in the impacted area, the evacuation zone still, so that'll have to be managed. our message, there was a meeting with the administration this morning between assistant superintendents and administration. Just to talk about welcoming staff back, what Friday might look like, and reintegrating the students on Tuesday. So things are in the works. Discussions are still going on diploma exams, PATs. We're just following the government direction. I believe Chair Epon has shared that with you by email. But that's about it regarding that.
Just to say, should anything arise that the trustees or the board would be of our value, please reach out so we can support those people appropriate, please. Yeah, nature. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
We had our grand opening, as I said, on April 21st, which was wonderful. And also today, we're having an open house from 3:30 to 6:30, where the community has been invited, or anyone who'd like to announce it at church and invite people to come and have a look at the school. Lots of people drive by and wonder what it's like inside, because it looks so awesome on the outside. So that'll be exciting too.
Just on that note, I didn't attend, I wasn't able to attend the open house, but I was listening to Archbishop Smith has podcasts. And I know he attended because on one of the podcasts I listened to, he went on and on about how amazing the Father Living School was and how wonderful it was to be in such a great school, and you can feel the faith in the walls. And so if you have a chance to listen to the podcast, it's the first couple of minutes of the one that's called Keeping Kids Catholic, the Domestic Church and How to Pray as a Family. So he talked to a quite extent of how amazing Father Living School was.
That's great. We have a bulletin board at the church for our school. So I put up pictures from the grand opening, so all your pictures are there. And also the picture of your bishop talking and the picture of the chief.
Yeah.
And Adriana.
That's the daughter here with us. That's our meetings.
Right. That makes the bulletin board really nice.
His grace likes to forever us.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to nice to see us. Like, that's our school.
Anything in Beaumont?
Well, I could say we have our new priest, Father Nathan Ricky, actually baptized my children. 6 priests this year. And so we've had mass in the schools, and the children seem to be really liking and warming up to them. So I thought that was refreshing to see.
Panoka St. A, what's happening in Panoka?
Gearing up for
Yeah. Yeah, with our school is doing okay. They have the school faith fair today. The event is happening, that happened mid-afternoon here. There is the candidates forum today in Utaskun. And thank you to Trustee Margot for sharing those questions with the chamber. Should they ask it as well? I plan to be there about 7:30. So again, as part of our advocacy plan, if you happen to meet with any of my candidates, please share some of those responses as we're discussing, so then that we can see where we stand. It's interesting what is going on politically. So as trustees, we just have to be objective and ready to work with whatever happens. So we should be mindful of that and have the thought questions as well. Yeah. And that we'll look at our work plan. Yeah, we come into June. So we have the staff recognition June 16th. ASBA is coming June 4th. It is at 6. Yes, please. And my apology, I'm unable to, as discussed in power, and there was so much under control here. So thank you all for that. What else? Just, the rest are pretty much big on administrative work. We just saw the approval today for the plan. Okay. Trustee expenses. Those reminders having board calendar, where did I miss that? There you go. All right, so next meeting will be June 16th. No. Yeah,
June 21st.
June 21st, sorry. Yeah, June 16th is the celebration, staff recognition there, and then we meet on June 21st. Okay. I will all responded to the June 16th to support the planning of the day. We all responded. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, then. If they all responded to you.
That would be Kim.
Oh, okay, yeah. They all responded to you. You don't know. Okay, look and let me know. All right, please, so we can, yeah, it's a day to celebrate and recognize our hardworking teachers. All right. Trustee expenses, and thank you, Mr. Laka. I like those reminders, but I'm guilty of it. I'm not always on time, but I think it's a good thing to have to know that here. So please, I don't think we have, everybody's up to date according to my last check when we did. So please, let's deal with that. That's Lena, you missing a couple of months?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot is happening to you, but now that you're back home,
I'll get on it.
yeah, take some time and get on it, please. Yeah, gonna cost you, I don't want you losing money. Okay. Board action sheets. Mr. Bishai.
There are two items. The first one is we will share the Catholic resources related to the phys ed wellness outcomes and share that with trustees as information. We'll also share the Braided Journeys course outline with trustees.
So correspondence, there is no physical correspondence. Everything else is being shared via email. Like I said, election is in, campaigning is in full motion. Advanced voting is coming Tuesday to the Saturday the 27th. So if you're able to vote, please look on your area or whatever election is that is sent to you and go do it. Any other final comments before we say our closing prayer? Okay. There is none. We will say a closing prayer here. Can we have that? Let's share the opening prayer with us on board. Hello. There it is, yeah, on board. All right. So if you all may join in the name of the Father, the Son, of the Holy Spirit, and grant me, O Lord, my God, a mind to seek you. Listen,
And all
all the ages and sins. Thank you. So, in this meeting to an end, that